So I just finished my Pleasantview save file and it's officially out for download. If you want to get it, go ahead, it's linked down below. But now that I'm finished with the save file, I wanted to make this video just to kind of go over a couple of things, more like highlights, I guess, of like things I've changed and also like what packs you'll need and stuff like that. So why don't we just go ahead and get into the video? Now, if you don't know, I have been working on this save file for about 5 months now. It's kind of funny though, because before I worked on this save file, I worked on the Pleasantview save file. And the fact that I got both of those save files done in under a year is kind of crazy when you think about it. After that series, I started another one. I had y'all vote on a community poll if you wanted me to furnish this one, or if you wanted me to furnish Willow Creek, a Sims 4 to Sims 3 conversion world. This world actually won. So a lot of y'all was like, CJ, please furnish the Pleasantview. This is a Sims 3 game, but the world itself is based on the Sims 2's Pleasantview. So a lot of y'all really wanted me to do it, so I done it. So I guess we'll go over like what packs you'll need. Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I didn't personally keep track of everything I used, but I'm just going to say that you're gonna need at least every expansion pack and stuff pack. I don't know if I used anything from Katy Perry Sweet Treats. I don't think I did. I did like a little overview, and I don't think I did, but on the off chance that I did, you're going to need that pack as well. But I know for a fact that aside from the custom content that comes with the world itself, I didn't use any new custom content, so you don't need any new CC, and also you don't need any store content as well, because I wanted this to be just packs only. So there's also another thing that I wanted to point out real quick. One, this world is completely empty. There are no Sims here. There's probably like NPCs, you know, but there's no Sims that I made for this world. So if you want Sims to be here, you're gonna have to place some down or download some from somewhere or make them yourself. I don't know about y'all, but usually when I start a new save file, I tend to just play with one Sim and then I kind of just go from there. So I knew for a fact that I wanted to have a couple of starter homes, because those are very important to me, because like I don't really always like to cheat the money when I play the Sims. I just kind of like, you know, having my Sim struggle for a bit and then, you know, they'll just do better over time. So if you go to place down a Sim, you'll see that there's a couple starter homes. There's a trailer home over here in this little neighborhood, and then there's also a home over here. I guess like the Sims 2 modern style. I don't really know what you would call this shape. Yeah, so there's two. There's this trailer, and then there's also this one that you can move into. There's a couple more starter homes in the world as well. So if you have 2 Sims at least, you'll be able to move into this trailer over here across the street. This one is also a starter home, but it's more so a starter home for like a small family. So there's like a nursery inside of there as well. You can move in this one over here. This is like Brandy Broke's trailer, but it's also a starter home technically. So you can move over here, and then of course you can also move here if you want to. So if you're playing with one Sim, you can at least live in 2 different houses. And if you play with at least 2 Sims or more, you have 4 houses that you can choose from. I just really wanted to point that out because, like I said, starter homes are very important to me, you know? So after I finished furnishing every single house, I went back and I was looking through some of the older ones, because a lot of the older furnishings I just don't remember that well. And for whatever reason, y'all, I was using this plant. It was this one right here. This is technically store content, but it's only 32 simoleons, and I was using this everywhere. I used it in this corner. I had another one over here. So I had to literally go back and like delete a lot of those like store content plants to kind of like replace them with some from the base game. So some of the prices of the homes may be a little bit different, but they're not like a big drastic change. It's just, if anything, probably a little bit more expensive, you know? But other than that, every house is pretty much the same. I did realize, and one of y'all brought it up to me, that this house over here, I think this is like 40, what is this house called? This is the 40 Woodland Drive. For some reason, I just never gave y'all the download link for this house, and I apologize. I think I just forgot. So I did go back and I updated it. So now if you want to just get this house, you can. Or I guess you can always just download the save file and get it that way. So this is the home, by the way. As you can see, it's pretty nice. It is a starter home technically if you have 2 Sims at least. And I remember I used like one of those store content plants in the corner, so I swapped it out. I realized also that with this house over here, I uploaded it with Elliot attached to it. So if you downloaded this house originally, now I guess you have a copy of Elliot in your game. I did update the link, so now you could just get the house by itself, but I realized that after the fact, so I guess some of y'all got an Elliot now. But this house right here is a starter home for 1 Sim, so if you have at least 1 Sim, you can live here, you know? Another lot that I want to bring up is the graveyard lot over here. I did ask in the video, and I got a comment from someone saying that basically funerals don't work off your home lot, which is very annoying. So I guess technically you can't have a funeral at the graveyard, but you can pretend, right? Like you can just put like your grave somewhere and just pretend, or honestly, you could just get married here if you want to. So kind of up to you. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that these graves are not populated, or they don't have Sims inside of them. I did get a comment from someone asking. These are just by debug graves, so if you want to, you can always just swap these out, you know, delete them or whatever. These will not have Sims on them at all. I have been told that you can't do that, or I think if you do it, it like corrupts the game or something. So these are just by debug graves, just to be placeholders. So if you want to, you can always just take these away and then place your own Sims down or whatever. I did place some other graves around just for decoration, but if you want to, you can place your Sims over here on these graves, or you can also just like put them down. I tried to leave a lot of space for you, you know, and I gave you some park benches and stuff like that as well. And then, by the way, I didn't show it in the video, it was in the screenshots, but I did include a bathroom over here, so your Sims can use the bathroom now. I don't know how I forgot a bathroom, but you know, now you have one. There is no shower, so you might want to shower when you go home, but there is at least a toilet. And also we have the mausoleum, so you can always store graves in here if you want to as well, so you have that option. Now, aside from that, another thing that I really wanted to do, and it took me a while, is that I added some more like set dressing, I guess, to the world. So if we go to some of these rabbit hole lots, a lot of these lots were either like kind of empty-ish, or they had like plants or something, but they just needed to be filled out a little bit more. So I went back to all of the rabbit hole lots and I just added more foliage, more trees and stuff like that. So for example, the school, I kind of like, you know, added some more tile down here. I did some landscaping, I added some park benches. Over here is a parking lot for the cars. We also have a little playground. It's not really like the best playground, but we have a swing set. We also have a hopscotch object. We also have a little playhouse. And then I added some tile back here to kind of reach the back of the building. So again, it's kind of like a small slight change, but I just wanted everything to look more detailed and stuff like that. You know, hopefully it doesn't add too much lag to the world, and if it does, you can always delete it. But for example, the bookstore and movie theater, I added some stuff back here. So, you know, I wanted a dumpster back here in case you needed to use it for something. You know, I usually have my Sims dumpster dive. We have some park benches, a picnic table, a parking lot. Not every single lot has a parking lot attached to it, but a lot of them do because, you know, I just thought it looked more realistic. I just like seeing Sims park their cars sometime, you know. I also made some changes to this pool lot, by the way. So originally, I had used a fence from Barnacle Bay, which I thought was base game because it wasn't like tagged with the Store World logo. So I did go back and I changed out the original fence with this one that I believe is from base game. I think this is from base game. And then I did like some slight changes, like I added some more of this wallpaper down here at the bottom. At first it was this wallpaper with like this one at the bottom of the column, so I went back and kind of like fixed it a little bit. A lot of the changes I did were like slight changes and stuff like that. One big thing that I did change, and I'm kind of glad that y'all brought it up to me because I literally didn't even realize it, was I furnished the Pleasant household, and for some reason when I was furnishing it, I guess I just wasn't thinking, or I just didn't look close enough, but y'all told me that I got rid of the only door to the bedroom. I don't know why, but for some reason I thought that like there was a door over here. I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought there was like a door over here, so it was like, you know, I didn't want it to be like one big wraparound, but apparently that wasn't the case, and I got rid of the only door that led to it. Also, I did get rid of that other couch that was over here. I felt the space was a little bit too tight. I need to play test this real quick to make sure that Sim can get around this. And you know what, really quick, I'm gonna get Elliot here and I'm just gonna teleport him, and I want to see if he can actually go inside of here. I want to make sure that this space is not too tight. Okay, so Sims can get around it, which is really good. That's something that I was really worried about. This living room is not as congested as it was at first. I updated the original link for the house, so if you just want to get like the fixed version of the house, you can do that. But that's basically like the only thing I really changed about this house. Everything else is pretty much the same. Oh, there is also this park back here. Now, this is the park that's behind the spa in the hospital. I noticed that it was just an empty lot, so I decided to add some things to it. We still have the big fountain. This was here originally, but I added some more terrain paint down in 4 directions. I added a little concession stand over here, so Sims should be able to, like, you know, get food and stuff like that. I didn't use move objects, so this should be functional. I also added a chess table just because. We have a couple of spring rights in case you want to bring your kids here. There is a little food bowl and a toy box for the pets, so, you know, maybe you can take your pets here if you want to. It is a really small park in the grand scheme of things, but, you know, I don't know. Maybe you might want to bring your Sims here. I don't know. And like I said earlier, I did go back to a lot of the community lots, and I just added more plants and foliage, and I added some fences and stuff like that around it. Same thing for the hospital. There's a lot of slight changes to the save file. A lot of these lots I didn't really, like, do too much, you know, because you can't go inside of them. But, you know, I just added, like, a bigger parking lot over here for the police station and some more trees. For the grocery store, I just added a bigger parking lot. There's a little picnic table. There's a dumpster back here as well. I tried to add a lot of dumpsters to the back of the buildings because, you know, I thought it would be more realistic. And also, if you want to play here and do like a rags to riches, then you can always dumpster dive, you know. For the bistro over here, I just kind of like added a little border to the pavement out here. I also added a dumpster back here as well. For the diner, I just added some more trees and stuff like that, and I fenced it in. So not every single change was a big drastic one. A lot of it was just me, you know, making it look a lot more, I guess, cohesive to the rest of the world, you know? There was also another thing that I changed. So this is, again, one of those earlier lots that I furnished. This is that big family park that I did like a while ago. So originally I had used a lemonade stand, but I realized that it was store content. So I swapped out the lemonade stand for one of these baker stands. And these are from Ambitions, by the way. So it's not store content. So there was literally just like one, and then there was a lemonade stand. So I just deleted one, added the baker stand beside it. I love this little park, y'all. There's like so much stuff to do here, you know. We have a playground, obviously. There's like a water balloon fight station back here, hopscotch. We have art easels in the back so you can do art if you want to. There's a soccer goal back here. We have a little like eating area with the grills and the picnic tables. We have dominoes tables, chess tables. There's just so much to do. There's even like throwing discs, kicky bags. This to me is like the definitive family park, you know what I'm saying? And then over here for the city hall, I just added a little parking space over here, and then I also added a little gazebo. If we bring it down the walls for a second, I added a couple of picnic tables. I really like though how Boring Bones had like the world pavement kind of connect to the actual lot, which I think was kind of cool. So it looks kind of seamless, you know? I just kind of wish it was like the same exact color, but it's The Sims 3, you know, what can you really do? But I thought this was so cool. Like, I really, really like that. With that being said, I think those are like all the big changes that I did. Anything else that I changed was kind of minor. Basically, you know, just adding some things here and there. For example, for this house, the Dreamer household, who the heck is this? For example, the Dreamer household, I just added a couple of chairs on the porch. A lot of the changes were very, very, very like small. But yeah, and all that's pretty much it though for like all the changes that I really did. Feel free to look around and just kind of like, you know, do a tour on your own time. Another thing I wanted to point out too is that I know that I did not build a bar for this world, and I usually like to have bars when I'm playing The Sims because I think they're like a good place to just meet up with other Sims. But all is not lost because there are a couple of empty lots in the world. So we have this one over here, which is listed as a community lot. So you can always build or place down a bar over here. It's on a 23 by 24, so maybe you can build a small one or find a small one to fit on this lot. And then there's also some additional empty lots back this way. So we have a 30 by 20, we have this 35 by 30, and then we also have a 25 by 25. So there are 4 additional empty lots, and I wonder if you can place down more. You probably will be able to. You may have to like move some stuff here and there, but technically, I guess you can add some more lots if you wanted to. But that's pretty much everything for the entire save file. Now, I will just briefly go over how to install this because I know some people don't know and some people get confused. So I'm just going to briefly try to explain. So this is a save file, okay? Now, the original world was made by Boring Bones. He made the world. You are going to have to download the original world because this is a save file. You need the original world in order for it to work. I always leave a link to the original world linked down below. So it'll be like the first download you see. So download that world, make sure you install it. And then that world itself does have custom content. So you're going to have to go and install it as well. The save file itself, I'm going to tell you where it needs to go, y'all. So you want to go to your documents, your electronic arts, you want to go to The Sims 3, and then you want to go to the folder that says saves, okay? You want to download my save file and put that folder in your saves folder. And then this way, when you load up the game, so I'm just going to go to the main menu really quick. So when you have the save file and the world install, you want to open up the game, and then you're going to find my save file. It's not going to have CJ save 6 on the end of it. It'll be like CJ save. This is just the 6th copy because I was just trying to make backups as I was doing it. But you're going to see it. It's going to say Pleasantview CJ save. So make sure you play on that. It won't have a sim or anything. It'll just be kind of blank because the world is empty. But you want to play on this. So you're going to click on it, and then you're going to play. If you go to start a new game and you find the world Pleasantview, if you do this and you just click on it, I'll show you what happens. When you load into it, you're only going to get the empty version of the world, but it's not going to be the version that I made. So for example, if I place down Elliot and try to play, you will see that all of these lots are going to be empty. So don't do that, okay? If you want to play on my version of the save file, like I said, y'all, make sure you have the world itself installed, and then make sure you have the save file installed. go to your main menu, and then you'll find my save file. It'll say Pleasantview CJ save. Like I said, it says 6 right now, but I'm going to change that, don't worry. But it'll say Pleasantview CJ save, and then you click on it, and then you play. I always recommend, if you play on save files, not just my save file, but any save file that you play on, I always recommend making copies or backups of it just in case you want to use it again in the future, because every single time you want to play on the save file, you're gonna have to load mine up. So if you want to, say, like, for example, have a different family in a different save file, you can't really do that if you only have one copy. So I would just say make a backup or just download a couple and just put them somewhere, you know. But with that being said, y'all, that's pretty much everything for this video. So like I said, if you want to play on the save file, it will be linked down below. A big thank y'all for watching, and I'm glad that a lot of y'all were looking forward to these videos, because I was too. I just like furnishing. Like, it's just therapeutic. Building and furnishing, I would say, is like both therapeutic for me. I could just turn my brain off and just kind of relax. So it's now out. You can download it. You can do whatever. If you want to change stuff and edit it, feel free. I don't care. Just know that it is going to be empty and that you are going to need every expansion pack and probably every stuff pack too. But aside from the CC that comes with the world, you don't need any additional CC, and you don't need any store content. Now, I know some of y'all are going to be like, CJ, what's next? What world are you going to try to tackle next? I have an idea, but I'm not going to say it just yet. I'm going to look at the world and make sure, like, I really want to, like, furnish it and stuff. But I do have an idea for another world that I want to furnish, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below. A big shout out and thank you to Eric, aka Boring Bones, for making the world, because I couldn't do the save file without the world, you know. So I'll leave his YouTube channel linked down below. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Thanks for watching.